Once upon a time, beneath the baobab trees of the dusty village of Baobabwadi, lived a young man named Ao. Grief clung to him like the midday heat. 2 short weeks ago, his beloved Mama Amina, her smile brighter than the midday sun, had succumbed to a sudden illness. The world felt muted, the laughter of children a distant echo. One scorching afternoon, Ao slumped under his favorite baobab, its gnarled branches offering a meager patch of shade. A shadow fell across his dusty boots. He looked up, squinting, to see a man unlike any he'd ever seen. Tall and cloaked in midnight blue, the stranger's eyes shimmered like polished obsidian. "Ao, son of Amina," the stranger rasped, his voice like wind whistling through dry grass. Ao, startled, scrambled to his feet. "Who are you? How do you know my name?" The stranger smiled, a flash of white teeth in the gloom. "I am called Zemu, and I have a proposition for you." Ao's heart hammered in his chest. "A proposition?" Zemu gestured towards the village nestled in the distance. "Do you see the life they lead? Scrabbling for every mouthful, their clothes worn thin. Wouldn't you like more? Wouldn't you like to honor your mother by giving her a life she deserved, even in her absence?" Ao's breath hitched. The image of Mama Amina, her face etched with worry lines, flickered in his mind. Wealth could erase those lines, build a house with a roof of cool tin instead of the leaky thatch. He could finally afford the medicine Mama Amina couldn't. "How?" Ao rasped, the word a desperate whisper. Zemu's smile widened. "There's a price, of course. But the rewards." He trailed off, letting the silence hang heavy. Ao swallowed. "What price?" Zemu leaned closer, his voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "You must spend one night with your mother." A cold dread slithered down Ao's spine. The thought of disturbing Mama Amina's rest was abhorrent. Yet, the allure of wealth, of honoring his mother, battled the fear. Zemu saw the struggle flicker in Ao's eyes. "It won't be as you think," he said, his voice gentling. "Think of it as a final goodbye, a chance to show your love in a way that will bring her peace." Desperation gnawed at Ao. He closed his eyes, picturing Mama Amina's gentle face. He could almost hear her voice, soft as a lullaby, urging him to take care of himself. When he opened his eyes, they were filled with a steely resolve. "I'll do it." A satisfied smirk crossed Zemu's face. He pointed a long, skeletal finger towards the setting sun. "Tonight, then. Under the full moon, at her grave." As quickly as he appeared, Zemu vanished like a wisp of smoke. Ao, alone again, felt a knot of dread tighten in his stomach. He spent the day in a daze, the hours dragging by like wounded animals. That night, under the watchful gaze of a full moon, Ao stood before his mother's freshly dug grave. Tears streamed down his face as he recited a prayer, his voice trembling. He lifted a heavy stone slab, revealing the wooden casket within. With a deep breath, he pried open the casket. Moonlight bathed Mama Amina's serene face, a single strand of white hair escaping her neatly woven braid. A pang of guilt ripped through him, but the memory of her worry lines spurred him on. Hesitantly, Ao climbed into the casket. The air hung heavy with the scent of damp earth and decay. He lay beside his mother, her once warm body now cold and stiff. Tears streamed down his face, a torrent of grief and despair. Suddenly, a warmth spread through him, a tingling sensation emanating from his chest. He looked down to see a faint, silver glow pulsing around Mama Amina's body. The glow intensified, bathing the darkness in an ethereal light. Then, something astounding happened. Mama Amina's lifeless body seemed to shimmer, becoming a shimmering, translucent version of herself. Her eyes, the color of deep pools, opened and locked with his. "Ao, my son," she whispered, her voice a melody carried on the wind. Ao gasped, tears blurring his vision. "Mama?" She smiled, a radiant warmth that chased away the chill of the night. "Don't be afraid," my child. This is a gift. A final goodbye. The warmth radiating from her intensified. It flowed into Ao, filling him with a sense of peace and understanding. He saw memories flicker in his mind, Mama Amina's tireless work in the fields, her endless love for him, the sacrifices she made for his well-being. Shame washed over him, the desperation for wealth seeming petty compared to her unwavering love. "Mama, I'm so sorry," he choked out, his voice thick with emotion. "I never meant to dishonor your memory." Her spectral form reached out, a luminescent hand gently stroking his cheek. "There is nothing to forgive, my darling. You did what you thought was best." The silver light intensified further, and Ao felt a surge of energy course through him. Images flooded his mind, bustling marketplaces, shimmering gold, fields heavy with crops. He understood. This was the wealth Zamu spoke of, not riches stolen from the grave, but a prosperity built on the foundation of his mother's love and his own hard work. Suddenly, the light receded, Mama Amina's form fading back into the translucent glow. Her lips curved into a loving smile. "Go now, my Ao. Build a life that honors us both. Remember, true wealth lies not in gold, but in the love we share with others." With a final flicker, Mama Amina's form vanished. Ao sat alone in the darkness, the warmth lingering on his skin. Tears streamed down his face, this time not of grief, but of gratitude and newfound purpose. He climbed out of the grave, carefully replacing the stone slab. As the first rays of dawn kissed the horizon, Ao walked back to the village, not with a heavy heart, but with a newfound resolve. He used the surge of knowledge he received to revitalize his family's farm. He experimented with new techniques, using drought-resistant crops and water conservation methods. His farm flourished, becoming a model for the entire village. Ao never spoke of the strange encounter at the grave, but the love and wisdom he received from his mother transcended words. He built a life filled with compassion, sharing his knowledge and resources with others. Mama Amina's memory lived on, not in stolen wealth, but in the prosperity and love that blossomed in Baobab Wadi. Years passed, and Ao became a pillar of his community. One day, a young man named Kofi, burdened by grief after losing his father, approached Ao. Ao saw the desperation in Kofi's eyes, a reflection of his own past. He led Kofi to the shade of the same baobab tree where he'd met Zamu. As Kofi poured out his woes, Ao knew what he had to do. He shared his story, not the macabre details, but the essence of the lesson he learned: true wealth lies in love and hard work. Kofi listened, eyes wide with wonder. He left that day not with a promise of stolen wealth, but with a renewed sense of purpose and a mentor by his side. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across Baobab Wadi, Ao sat beneath the ancient baobab. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, carrying with it a faint whisper, "Thank you, Ao." He smiled, knowing Mama Amina's love continued to guide him, a beacon in the vast savanna of life.